Welcome to the Dealmakers Podcast. The Dealmakers is a platform for leaders in the commercial real estate industry to share their personal stories, business insights, and industry secrets because we believe in spotlighting the real people behind the deals. This podcast is brought to you by Agora, a comprehensive real estate investment management platform offering a wide range of services to enable real growth and provide the best real estate investment experience both for GPs and LPs. I'm Asaf Raz. Let's go. And today with me, a special guest with a few delays, but he's in a really interesting market niche, which I really want to hear more about. I'm sure our audience as well. Tyler Jordan, he's the managing partner of the Nova Haus Real Estate Fund. He's been doing a lot of amazing things recently. Just came back from Cancun. I want to hear more about that. Tyler, please tell us about yourself, and we'll take it from there.
Yeah, of course. I mean, first things first, I appreciate you having me here. This is good fun. But I mean, as you said, I'm one of the four managing partners at the Nova Haus. I'm originally Australian and currently living in Dana Point in California. Been in the US for the last 4 or 5 years, and yeah, we do international real estate, and we bring that access to US investors. And so we're in the hospitality space where we're doing developments that are on the high end and on the rather large side of residential developments for groups, corporate retreats, things like that. We've got an offering open in Costa Rica and more to come in different countries. So that's kind of the super quick 30,000 foot view of who I am and what we do.
I love that. And I can see here 3 really, really interesting names here. So Costa Rica, Bali, and Thailand. I can see that literally on your website. I think all of our audience, or at least most of it, have this thought of like, oh my God, I want to go to Costa Rica. I want to go to Bali. I want to go to Thailand. It's like super exotic places. I've been to all of them. They're all extremely amazing. I'd love to know, what do you guys focus on in these regions and what are you trying to do? What's the overall goal of Nova Haus?
For sure. I mean, for us, I mean, we've developed in 8 countries now. So we've got quite a breadth of experience around the world in not only traveling, but doing real estate. And I think for us, it's more about understanding where the economy is going. And in our opinion, and it's also backed by a lot of statistics, is that people are becoming more and more transient, and they are becoming more and more remote. And people are looking for connection, but they're looking for connection in other places. And so for us, we are part of that demographic. This is a product that has been built out of our own desire and our own need. And so, creating these spaces in beautiful spots where, say, a team of 15 or 20 or 25 people can go down there and they can spend 4 days in, for example, Costa Rica. They can have everything they need in one place. They've got a gym, sauna, ice bath, meeting room, podcast recording studio, the whole thing in one place. And they get to enjoy living in luxury as well. And it's something that you can't do on your own. You'd be spending $5 to $10 a night to do it on your own. Or if you're getting a group of people down there together, you might be spending $200 or $300 a night. And, you're getting this unbelievable experience for a fraction of the cost, going down with a group. And so we're just looking at where the world's going, both from an economy standpoint as well as a travel standpoint, and positioning ourselves almost in front of that wave. And then, I mean, Costa Rica is all the buzz at the moment. So I'm sure that you've probably heard a lot about it. I know that I had, and until I went down there, and it's an incredible place. Have you been?
I have been a long time ago. I'm more a Thailand, Bali kind of person. So like Southeast Asia. But I have to go again soon. And I'm definitely going to ask you for advice for that. So I assume let's understand a little bit of your personal story, how you got into this. So I assume you're a big traveler, right? You're an Aussie living in Dana Point, right? Doing business globally. Like, what got you into this? Why are you so intrigued within this specific space in real estate?
I'm not sure that there is an exact reason that sort of kicked things off, but I do know that, I left school when I was 15 years old. So I was I'm the cliche high school dropout, very early high school dropout, which I'm very proud of. And I went all in on real estate. And it's sort of, for me, it was an involvement where I was working in real estate and doing deals and being involved in deals and being involved in the construction side. And I realized that all of the people that were funding these deals, the people that were owning these deals, that were, the managing partners of these really large developments, almost never were they ever on site. They were always somewhere else. And they always had a team in place doing the developments themselves. And they would come to site maybe every couple of months. And it made me realize that I can be anywhere doing this. And so that's essentially what I did. I was like, I've always wanted to travel the world. I've always wanted to meet incredible people like yourself in incredible places. And I want to do that, as much as I can. And so I did. I started traveling, and I was doing completely remote developments back home in Australia. Everything from land acquisitions, designs, permitting, construction, leasing the property, and then eventually, selling these properties, all from overseas, just via calls and emails. Wow. And I realized very quickly that everyone says, "Oh, you can't do things remote. You have to be there. You have to be there." And whilst I agree that it is helpful to be there, it's pretty possible to do it without. And that's kind of what led me here. It's, while I was traveling, the world, I was always looking for these places. I was looking for places where I can connect with people. And so, for example, I'd show up to a city or wherever it was, and I'd be with a group of people or some kind of a conference or whatever it might be. And everyone's spread out. There's some people are in this hotel, some people are in that hotel, some people are here. And then everyone's, oh, we've got to go to the gym, which is down the road. And if you want to actually get together and have a meeting, then there's the meeting room, 2 blocks that way. And everything just became about logistics. And I thought, why doesn't it exist to have one place, like a really small private hotel almost, with all the amenities, but as a residential building for these smaller groups? Because that's what I want. That's what I need. That's what I'm looking for. And I was fortunate enough to meet 3 other partners, all highly successful in the real estate space, who were also searching for that. And we said, well, why don't we just do what we all do best and build it? And that's where the Nova Haus came into it.
I love that. What a great story. Big hustler, in the most positive way, 100%. And I don't know if you know this term grit, but I feel like it really fits the way that you've done stuff, dropping out of school at 15 and just saying, okay, I'm going to do real estate. And I feel like most or a lot of successful people just go that route. They're like, I'm just going to do what I'm good at. I'm just going to do what I want to do. And I'm going to make sure I'm the best at it. So I really like that. That's a really cool story.
It's an interesting one. It's not received very well in America. America's a funny place where there's so much emphasis on what college you went to. So it's funny, when I first got over here, and I was meeting all my wife's extended family, because my wife's American. I was meeting all of her extended family and things like that all these years ago. I would say it because I would always come up in conversation. They'd be like, "What college did you go to?" I'm like, "Oh, well, I didn't even make it to college. I actually didn't even make it to the end of high school." And then my wife was like, "Oh, you can't tell people that here in America. It's like, that's like taboo." I was like, "Okay, no worries."
I'm a college dropout too, in a way. I first semester I was like, I'm done. I'm just gonna do marketing. I'm just gonna start working. Do it on my own. So I have a lot of respect for people that do that. I know that it's the harder route to take, the way I see it, because you have nothing behind you, quote unquote, right? You just have you to prove yourself. So I have a lot of respect to that. I know that a lot of American people are starting to have respect to that when they understand how the educational system is working today. So for me, it's a big. I am very happy. I've got way faster to the places I want to be in, way faster and way more efficiently, and I didn't waste a second within my career path. And I'm heading exactly where I want to go. So I feel like it's exactly where I want it to be, exactly the time I wanted this to happen, and I have no complaints. So I have a lot of respect to that, Tyler, and I think it's something that people are starting to respect more and more. And when you hear people like Elon Musk saying that as well, he's calling it the MBAization of America. You're like, okay, like he gets it, right? So again, lots of respect for that. Let's focus on the real estate for a second. So what is your strategy? You're working in remote areas mostly. It's mostly not in the US. As you said, they're pretty far away. how do you underwrite? How do you look at properties or land that you're trying to invest in? How do you make investment decisions? End of the day.
For sure. I mean, everything is exactly the same as it is in the US. We don't do any deals in the US. No deals in the US and no deals in Australia. Those are the two hardest countries we've ever done real estate in, and we've learned our lesson. But it's all done exactly the same. And so, half of our team currently is in Costa Rica. And so we have team members on the ground there that have been doing these developments to this caliber, to this size, for 20 plus years. And so, they are owners of the Nova Haus. They are in Costa Rica. They're doing this day in, day out. And so the company is essentially split into two. So there's 4 managing partners. 2 of them are in Costa Rica. They're underwriting deals. They're doing the construction. They're taking the bids. They're managing the projects. They're doing all of the quote unquote local stuff that is, that is normal in the real estate industry that you need to be on site for. And then the other 2 managing partners are myself and Martin, and we're in the US, and we're on the investment side, packaging this into we're a Reg D 506C offering. We're doing the investor relations, the operations, the communications, all of the kind of the higher level stuff of putting the puzzle pieces together for where this all goes. And so I say all that to say it's all about your team. And that's a mistake that I have learned over and over again. And finally, over these last sort of 5 or 6 years, I'm learning that I'm not making that mistake anymore. I am partnering with the best of the best of the best who have done this so many more times than anyone else. And I'm not just partnering with anyone. And as long as you're able to do that, everything kind of falls into place because you have people and you have contractors and you have service providers and all these types of individuals that, the tables turn. They actually start throwing themselves at you because of the caliber of people on your team versus the other way around. And then for us as well, it's a trust thing. If we're working with the best of the best who's been doing this for decades, it's very easy to trust what's going on, and then just do regular site visits every couple of months.
Very cool. Again, I feel like it's so unique within the real estate space. I've been talking to owner developers for the past 3 years, right? With everything happening in the market, with everything that's going on. And I feel like this is such for an LP trying to diversify his investments, I feel like this is a really good, really interesting opportunity, to say like, hey, we're not necessarily affected because we're in such tropical, unique areas where people just want to be there. As you said, it's like everybody's dreams to go for 2 weeks to Bali or to Costa Rica to do their corporate retreat or do a small conference, right? It's just the best place to do it. You just came back. You told me from Cancun, coming from a conference. These exotic places work very well for these things. So I feel like this is such a unique investment vehicle, and yeah, it's just very interesting what you guys are doing at Nova Haus for sure.
Yeah, it's interesting. I think one of the biggest misconceptions about real estate and international real estate at that is that it's an immediate hesitation because of the unknown, and so we are. I mean, and that's life in general, right? Is if you are familiar with your current surroundings, wherever you're at right now, Asaf, I could tell you right now, and you don't have to do this, but you could close your eyes and I could ask you to describe the room that you're in, and you can describe it for me piece by piece of furniture and what color things are and everything. But as soon as we're in a different country, all of a sudden we think that everything changes, and it doesn't. There's the layers of maybe the language changes, and maybe the cultural norms change a little bit. But underneath those two things, everything is near enough the same, or at least those are the countries that we invest in. And so the legal system in Costa Rica is almost no different to the legal system in the US. The way that you buy property is exactly the same. The way that you underwrite, the way that you build, the engineering and the codes in which you have to build in Costa Rica is actually higher than what it is in California. And so, it's this weird misconception that as soon as you cross a border, whether it's a state border or an international border, that everything changes, and it really doesn't. People are people, and real estate's real estate.
And the fundamentals are the same. The fundamentals of the real estate investment are just the same way. I've been hearing this a lot, and it's super interesting that you guys are also experiencing that in different countries.
Yeah. Yeah. But I mean, we're located in the US. So like our company is based in the US. We're domiciled here for that reason, is like we catered for American investors to get them that access to international markets. And, you know, having a domestic entity is that kind of that safety net that, you know, diverts around those initial fears that you might have.
I love that. Okay. So for every episode that we have something, Tyler, called the shameless plug. And that's where, before we end the episode, that's where you shamelessly plug in exactly what you're looking for today. We've had a bunch of connections happening behind the scenes, LPs with GPs, GPs working with other GPs, owner developers connecting with other partners, with fund admins. Like it's a really cool community that's being built around this podcast. So this is where you as shamelessly as you can, plug in exactly what you guys are doing today, as shamelessly as you can. What are you guys doing today? What are you looking for? This is your opportunity.
So we're currently raising capital. We're raising $40 million for a Reg D 506C offering, accredited investors only. The ideal people that we are looking for are growth-oriented individuals who already have their investment portfolio, sort of the foundation of it set. They already have a good base to go off of, and they're looking for that next level of something that's more meaningful, something that they can use, something that they can be sitting at the dinner table or the lunch table with a group of their friends and turn their phone around and say, hey, look at what I own, or look at what I'm investing into, and kind of shamelessly show off, you know, an investment that is more than just numbers on a screen. And so we assist US accredited investors all around the US. So if that feels like something that resonates with you, I would love to be in contact. That's exactly who we're looking for on the investment side. And on the partner side, we are looking for expert individuals in developed or developing countries like Costa Rica, Thailand, Bali, even places like Singapore and Colombia. You know, we're looking for more and more connections there at the highest level.
I love that, Tyler. And obviously, you'll find all the links, all the information at the bio of this podcast. Also, if you don't have spare cash, I can see it on your website. You can use your self-directed IRA to make these type of investments, which is pretty cool. And you can see on the website some of equity members that talk about their investment experience with Nova Haus. So Tyler, I really appreciate the time, man. It was really interesting and unique. So thank you for just sharing your valuable insights and experience, and thank you for sharing those valuable insights and experience today. It was very enlightening to hear your perspective about what's happening in real estate today. To our listeners, thank you for tuning in to another episode of the Dealmakers Podcast. If you enjoyed this episode, be sure to subscribe so you never miss out on the latest conversations with industry leaders. Stay tuned for more exciting episodes as we continue to explore the stories behind the deals and people making them happen. I'm Asaf Raz. We'll see you next time on the Dealmakers Podcast. Tyler, thank you so much again.
Thank you, mate. You're great.